is going on, guys? JD from New York here, and this is WWE Off The Script, episode number 56, part number 1, and you guys know when you see Off The Script in your sub boxes on a Friday afternoon, man, you guys know it's time to start the weekend off the right fucking way. Thank you so much for joining me. Off The Script has been fucking scorching hot the past couple of weeks, man. All thanks to your love and your continued support. We are on our way. Very, very, very soon we should be hitting 25,000 subscribers, man. It's all thanks to you guys. This is without question the #1 source for WWE news and rumors right here on YouTube.com. So if you guys want the latest and greatest up-to-date information on WWE and all the storylines going into WrestleMania 31, just 2 weeks away, this is your #1 stop right here. Thank you so much for everything you guys do for this channel and for this series, all right? I got big news. We're going to get right into it immediately. Brock Lesnar, what is the update? What is the status on Brock Lesnar and Vince McMahon after the fallout that they had a couple of weeks back on Monday Night Raw, which prompted Brock Lesnar to walk out of Monday Night Raw and not even appear on the show? I got the latest information on contract negotiations and where Lesnar stands with the WWE, what Vince McMahon's stance is on the contract, and where Brock Lesnar may potentially end up if he doesn't pretty much sign with the WWE. Will he stay with WWE? Will he go to MMA, Bellator, UFC? Where's he going, man? I got the latest up-to-date information from the Wrestling Observer newsletter, and we're going to get right into that right now. WWE World Heavyweight Champion Brock Lesnar and Vince McMahon are reportedly still at odds over contract negotiations between one another. As previously reported right here on Off The Script, things between both parties got so intense during the February 23rd edition of Monday Night Raw that Lesnar walked out and didn't appear on the program as previously advertised. These differences were then reported to be about Lesnar's future with WWE. There was a rumor going around saying that Brock Lesnar walked out of Monday Night Raw over a failed drug test that Roman Reigns had gone through, and that was completely debunked as false information. That was not the reason Brock Lesnar walked out on Monday Night Raw. If that was the case, and Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns was still the main event of WrestleMania, there would have been a huge backlash within the world of professional wrestling, never mind WWE, for their stance on performance-enhancing drugs. But those differences were about Lesnar's future with WWE, strictly monetary reasons, okay? It is well known that the bidding war is about to begin for Mr. Lesnar's services as his 3-year contract with WWE comes to a close. MMA promotions such as UFC, where Lesnar had re-signed as champion before, or reigned as champion before, and Bellator are now knocking on the Beast's door. A stalemate in negotiations right now, currently, is being reported between Lesnar and Vince McMahon. This is what sent Lesnar out the door on February 23rd, where McMahon stood firm on his offer to Lesnar, and Lesnar stated that he wants something different in terms of contract. According to the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, paid subscription. Even 2 weeks after Lesnar's walkout and appearance during the March 9th edition of Raw, relations between Lesnar and the boss are still unsavory. Dave Meltzer says the following in the newsletter about this entire situation with Lesnar's contract. Regarding the contract issues with Brock Lesnar and Vince McMahon, absolutely nothing has changed from 2 weeks ago, and we are 2 weeks away from WrestleMania and his impending main event with Roman Reigns. Logically, it would not be a surprise if they don't until after WrestleMania. For Lesnar, the best bargaining position is not today. There are 2 ways of looking at his best timing. The old school wrestling way would say his best timing is the day before or day of the show. The big picture way of looking at his best timing would be the best, or would be the day his current contract expires and after he gets a solid offer from UFC or Bellator. Lesnar has to use the threat of going to UFC for all it's worth, and he can't truly use the UFC as leverage until he's able to legally negotiate to the level he has an offer he can use. Lesnar's timing, for the most part, has been, his timing for the most part has been, it's been odd, man. The way I look at it, it's been odd. Because it's down to the wire, okay? And the way I see it and the way I agree with what Jim Ross has been stating, and he went back to state this months ago, even before WrestleMania and Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar was even booked. If the WWE really wanted to make Brock Lesnar happy, they have all the power in the world to do so, okay? Why are you waiting 2 weeks before WrestleMania to get this man signed? You obviously know your main event is in trouble. Your main event is in trouble, man. I don't care who you are, if you are a wrestling analyst or a wrestling analyst, I should say, and you analyze the product and you come on here and write newsletters and you do YouTube videos and you do this and that, or you work for the WWE. You guys have to know that Lesnar and Reigns is something the majority of the people don't care for. And I have a report on Sunday in which I have a report stating that Lesnar and Reigns is in trouble because if the way the crowd reacted on Monday Night Raw is any indication of how they perceive Roman Reigns, it's going to be a nightmare situation at WrestleMania. Fans were walking out of Monday Night Raw early before the main event even concluded. Okay, Reigns is not ready. And I didn't do a Monday Night Raw review. I didn't do a Monday Night Raw review because WrestleMania to me is not WrestleMania. It's not WrestleMania season to me, people. It's not. WrestleMania season to me is full of excitement and unpredictability and surprises. None of that has happened thus far with WWE and WrestleMania 31. None of that. None of that. The best thing about Monday Night Raw was the promo Paul Heyman cut on Brock Lesnar. I want to let you guys know what I thought about that right now as I'm sitting here talking about Lesnar's situation contract-wise with the WWE. Okay? Do you honestly think that Vince McMahon and the gold brass and the higher-ups and the upper management goons of WWE, do you honestly think these people gave Paul Heyman the green light to go out there and say whatever he wants? Do you honestly believe that he went out there and went off the script, no pun intended? Do you think Paul Heyman went off the script and said whatever the hell he wanted with a microphone in his hand? You think he went out there and just off the top of his head purposely dropped UFC and Brock Lesnar unifying the UFC World title and the WWE title this summer? Do you honestly think he went out there and went against what WWE told him to say? Do you honestly believe that? I don't. All signs from that promo point to Lesnar potentially re-signing with the WWE. And they're using this to fuel this feud. They're using this to build this feud and storyline because Roman Reigns right now is such a non-factor that he himself can do absolutely nothing to get this feud over. The entire feud is resting on the shoulders of Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman has single-handedly got me interested in this match. Not because of Roman Reigns, not because it's Lesnar and his opponent, Roman Reigns, at WrestleMania in the main event for the WWE title. No, all Paul Heyman had to do was open his mouth with a microphone, and he got me interested, man. Everyone on Monday Night Raw stopped what they were doing to listen to Paul Heyman. When he came out and he started pretty much yelling into the microphone, and he was straightforward and dropping UFC and the UFC title and discussing the contract negotiations between WWE and Brock Lesnar and him potentially jumping to UFC. Shit got real, folks. Shit got real. Now, I don't know if this is WWE playing up a storyline. I honestly don't know if they're that smart to incorporate everything that's going on right now in the dirt sheets into this storyline. But what I'm telling you from my, personal opinion and my vision from what I seen on Monday Night Raw, I honestly think that we are closer to Brock Lesnar resigning with the WWE after Paul Heyman's promo. Because I don't think he went against Brass. I don't think he went against Vince, Triple H, and Stephanie and went out there and said all that just because. He didn't go off the script. He pretty much went out there and he was given the green light to say what he said and build this storyline, because that's how much of a non-factor Roman Reigns is. You got to understand that. Roman Reigns is a non-factor in this feud. He has done absolutely nothing. We're 2 weeks away from WrestleMania, and there has not been one eye-to-eye confrontation between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. The only time these two guys met eye-to-eye was that Monday Night Raw that was canceled, and they had impromptu backstage interviews at the WWE headquarters with the snowstorm that happened right after the Royal Rumble. That was it. Other than that, Roman Reigns hasn't made a peep, or hasn't said a peep about Brock Lesnar, because WWE knows this is headed for failure. Everyone knows this is headed for failure. There's not a reason to believe after Heyman's promo on Monday Night Raw that Roman Reigns will beat Brock Lesnar, man. I don't care who you are. There's no way if Lesnar doesn't resign. If he doesn't resign, if he does resign, I don't care. There's no way on God's green earth that Lesnar can lose to Roman Reigns after that promo from Paul Heyman. I'm sorry. I'm absolutely fucking sorry. If that's the case and Lesnar doesn't resign, have him beat Roman Reigns and then forfeit the title on Monday Night Raw and give us a fucking tournament for the title. That's the way I would do it. There's no way on God's green earth that Roman Reigns can beat Brock Lesnar after that promo. There's no way. There's no way. Paul Heyman made Brock Lesnar look like an absolute fucking unstoppable monster on Monday Night Raw with that promo. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way anyone can write an article or do a YouTube video to make me believe otherwise after what Paul Heyman said on Monday Night Raw. There's no way Roman Reigns can beat Lesnar. There's no way. No way. If I didn't think about it beforehand, I've been saying for weeks now that Roman Reigns, no way you're going to make me believe Roman Reigns can be built up enough to beat Brock Lesnar. There's no way. I've been saying this for weeks now. Now, after fucking Paul Heyman's promo, that's the nail in the nails in the coffin. Never mind a nail. The nails in the coffin. There's no way. There's no fucking feasible way Roman Reigns is going to beat Brock Lesnar. There's no way. There's no way. WWE would have to be the dumbest people alive in entertainment to book a match where Roman Reigns beats Brock Lesnar simply because he's on his way out the door. So what? So what? CM Punk's contract was up, right? CM Punk's contract was up, yet he walked out. They gave him the title, and then I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, he resigned with the championship. Okay, he resigned with the WWE with the championship in hand. Okay, same thing can happen here. Not to say Lesnar isn't going to resign. Not saying Lesnar can't resign. He doesn't need to drop the title. If he doesn't drop the title, have him go out on top. Have him go out on top. This is simply Lesnar and McMahon can't agree. Fine, you can't agree. You're going to go somewhere else. Just give me the belt. We'll let you beat Roman Reigns because we built you up. There's no reason to fucking put Roman Reigns over right now because he's not ready. He's proving more and more week in and week out that he's not ready. There's no way. There's absolutely no way after Paul Heyman's promo that Brock Lesnar is going to lose to Roman Reigns. I just fail to see it. I fail to believe it. There's no way. Lesnar wins and forfeits the title, gives up the title. We have a fucking tournament to crown a new champion. That's the way I would do it. But of course not. Roman Reigns is going to go over at WrestleMania. Who the fuck am I, man? I'm just a fucking idiot on here talking out of his ass about WWE and how I would do it. But like I said, who the fuck am I? All right, but that is that. WWE Network and the numbers are up. And I'm sorry for the rant. I went off there. WWE's network and the numbers for the network are up, but they need to stay up or the stock market will turn on a dime against WWE. The network numbers are not reliant on talent, as we've seen, or even booking. It's all about gimmick offers and big show timing. A crappy WrestleMania or Royal Rumble build is likely to mean more for network subscriptions than a super build for any other match or gaining or losing marquee talent. However, the network being up is fruitful for Brock Lesnar, because WWE is no longer cost-cutting like crazy and wouldn't be as reluctant to offer the type of deal Lesnar has gotten on his last 2 contracts. The CM Punk situation also worked in his favor. WWE is so desperate publicly to claim they don't share fan base with MMA. The obvious situation is that with a percentage, they are denying the obvious. With another percentage, they are correct. WWE's difficulty in drawing in arenas that have had a UFC event the same week pretty much tells the tale about them not being competition from a live event status. The historical rise and falls of WWE's numbers coinciding with those of UFC as a yin-yang could be viewed as coincidental, but not when WWE's pay-per-view, including Wrestlemania, have been clearly hurt if a big UFC event is on the same weekend. But with CM Punk leaving, if Lesnar follows, there will be questions asked about losing talent, even though there is probably nobody else on the roster this would matter to. Nobody else is crazy enough or headstrong like Punk, or over enough with Dana White or Lorenzo Fertitta to be able to make that kind of move, and nobody else on the roster is a Brock Lesnar. Right now, he could try the power play of not agreeing to drop the title. What did I say? Agreeing to not drop the title unless he gets the terms he wants. And that would be what wrestlers in the past would do in this same situation. But the title isn't taken seriously now, and he doesn't have that power written into his contract. The implication would be that he could be viewed in breach, different from non-contracted days. In the end, one wouldn't think there would be an issue of him dropping it, although it's not like there aren't numerous cases of that same exact thing happening in WWE history. In the end, the belief is still that Lesnar will end up staying with WWE because it makes the most sense because of his age. The only question is if Lesnar has some Punk mentality in him, in the sense he wants to try one more time to accomplish something in sports. If he does sign a new deal, his window is closed on UFC for good. If he does have any competitive sports instinct left in him, it is possible it would be like Punk in the sense that a pro wrestling decision may be one he looks back on with the what if question and has regrets. Honestly, I don't buy the situation, but it's at least a possibility. He can always take one last chance because the reality is if he signs to do a few UFC fights, as long as he doesn't have too much shine knocked off, he can still come back to pro wrestling. Perhaps he could even up his value with a successful run in UFC, or at least up his value to Vince McMahon, who is more likely to overpay to bring him back as an outsider than he is to pay someone who never left. But if Lesnar had that, he wouldn't have left UFC when he did. The only wild card is that he's really fully healthy, and 3 years ago when he left, he was not. That is certainly what they've been wanting people to believe for the past 6 months, ever since the game started being played. Right now, Dave Meltzer says he is told the situation is that neither Vince nor Lesnar wants to budge from their current position to make the deal. One, or more likely both, will probably have to budge. And in the end, both know it, and right now there is no pressure on Lesnar to be the one to budge. He can walk into UFC and he has the opportunity to make more money than WWE. And he may be able to cut a sweet deal in Bellator. But when you look at the numbers they gave Rampage Jackson, that's not even in the ballpark of what it would take for Lesnar. And you need big time pay-per-view money to put what Lesnar would want on the table. That is the latest with Brock Lesnar. No one is budging. Vince is not budging. Lesnar is not budging. Both parties are at a stalemate right now. It is going to come down to a last-minute deal. It's going to either be on the day of WrestleMania or when WrestleMania concludes. All I know is this entire situation does make the main event at WrestleMania pretty unpredictable, okay? But we all know Roman Reigns is going in WrestleMania and walking out the champion. Now, Seth Rollins may be the wild card, man. You know, a lot of people are very adamant and, you know, predicting Roman Reigns is going to walk out of WrestleMania 31 with the WWE Championship, but Seth Rollins is a wild card. WWE has planted that seed and mentioned Rollins in the same breath as Money in the Bank and cashing in and WrestleMania. All in the same sentence, man. They've been dropping seeds left and right on the past couple editions of Monday Night Raw. I would not be surprised to see that, as that would make for a better situation if Roman Reigns was the one to walk out of WrestleMania as the champion and Seth Rollins cashes in on Roman Reigns. That would make things a lot better. But from what I see, listen, if WWE wants Lesnar to stay, give the fucking man what he wants. There's only one Brock Lesnar. I know a lot of people don't like what Lesnar has done with the WWE in his current situation, with the title, with his contract, with his TV appearances. A lot of people say that he's diminished the title. You know, Jim Ross is one of the guys who think that Lesnar brought prestige back to the title because of the way it's been treated. He's only back for big-time events. He's a legit world champion. The title doesn't need to be seen on TV all the time. It gives time to the mid-card guys. But then again, WWE really hasn't capitalized on Lesnar's absence. They haven't pushed anyone to the mid-card, from the mid-card to the main event. They haven't highlighted these guys. They haven't showcased these guys. It's all the same shit. We still get the Authority. We still got Kane and Big Show in the main event. WWE has failed to capitalize on Brock Lesnar. So it's their fault, man. It's their fault for ruining Brock Lesnar's run. It's their fault for not capitalizing on the WWE title not being on TV. It's all WWE Creative's fault, man. It's Vince McMahon's fault. It's Triple H's fault. It's Stephanie's fault. It's all their own fault for not capitalizing on what they have in Brock Lesnar and how they've been treating Brock Lesnar. If they knew Lesnar was not going to be on TV with the title, they should have been moving pieces around to give us quality main events and move guys up the ladder and give us new main event guys for the future. That's what they should have been doing. That should have been the game plan all along. But according to WWE, it's more important for us fans to see Kane and Big Show in the main event every fucking pay-per-view, every Monday Night Raw, instead of seeing a Wyatt, an Ambrose, a Rollins, a Ziggler, a Barrett, etc., etc. But who the fuck am I, like I said, man? I'm just some idiot on YouTube mouthing off on the WWE product. But that is the latest on Brock Lesnar, Vince McMahon. Nobody is budging as of yet. If I was the one in charge, somebody's got to have a brain there, man. Roman Reigns has not done anything as far as build. Reaction to Roman Reigns has been awful. Awful. There's no reason to believe. There's no reason for anyone to believe that this man should be crowned WWE Champion. There's no reason to believe anyone could see Roman Reigns defeating Brock Lesnar with a Superman punch or a spear, man. This is a fucking world-class athlete. This is not some fucking amateur down in NXT that Roman Reigns can have his way with, man. This is not the Big Show. This is not Kane. This is fucking not one of J&J security, man. This is fucking Brock Lesnar, one of the legit baddest men on the planet. You see Brock Lesnar walking down a fucking dark alley. You're going to start shit with him. He's going to fucking decapitate you right then and there, man. That's the man Brock Lesnar is. And with Paul Heyman by his side, he don't got to do anything, man. He don't got to say anything. All he's got to do there is collect his paycheck and stand there looking menacing, looking brutal, looking tough with a belt around his shoulder. And he knows all he has to do is smirk. All he knows, he has to smirk. That's all he's got to do. Because he knows he's got the best fucking manager in the business speaking up for him. And after Lesnar's promo, like I said, there's no reason for anyone to believe Roman Reigns is going to beat Brock Lesnar, man. Brock Lesnar should be the one walking out of WrestleMania with the WWE Championship. That's just the way I see it. But again, who the fuck am I, man? I'm just giving you my opinion on what I seen following Monday Night Raw and what a fucking promo it was, man. Every time Heyman speaks, it's fucking gold. And single-handedly, he has built this feud to something meaningful because Roman Reigns has done nothing. Roman Reigns has done nothing, man. He's 50% of this main event, and he's done absolutely fucking nothing. So why am I going to believe Roman Reigns is going to be the fucking man of the hour? Why do I believe he's going to be the face of the WWE? I can't. I'd be lying to myself. Speaking of WWE, where am I, man? I'm lost in what my notes here. Sting, another thing on Monday Night Raw. Sting, the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer radio show with Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer. They revealed why WWE altered Sting's voice on Monday Night Raw and the vignette that aired on March 9th. The video package was the first time Sting's voice was heard during his inaugural tenure in WWE, and the company modulated his speech, leaving fans wondering, Meltzer claims that WWE chose to alter Sting's voice in the style of an old WCW character named the Black Scorpion, who feuded with Sting in the early 90s. This is a nod to the old school WCW fans, even though many in the WWE universe were confused by the choice and just wanted to hear Sting speak in his normal voice during his first vocal venture in WWE. When feuding with Sting, the Black Scorpion's voice was altered to hide the fact that he was Ole Anderson speaking for the character. While different superstars donned the mask to face Sting in the ring, it was Ric Flair who ultimately unmasked as the Black Scorpion to further Sting's storyline with the Four Horsemen. Sting is expected to appear during the latest edition of Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania 31 on March 23rd. And he may speak for the first time inside a WWE ring. Until then, fans will continue to wonder if they will ever hear from one of the most charismatic voices of all time, unaltered or not. I don't get why WWE decided to go back on an early 90s promo style or an early 90s feud with Sting to build his current feud with Triple H, man. I really don't understand that. Quite honestly, it sounded like Ryback to me. There was even rumors going around that it was Dolph Ziggler as the voice of Sting in that promo. But according to Dave Meltzer, Brian Alvarez, and Dave Meltzer himself, Sting's voice was indeed Sting's voice, Steve Borden, but it was altered in a way, to the point where you're not going to notice it's actually Steve Borden. So that is that, if you guys were wondering about that promo on Monday Night Raw with Sting, all right? According to PWInsider.com, The Undertaker may use a Johnny Cash song at WrestleMania 31 for his entrance. This would not be the first time the Phenom used a song from Cash for a WrestleMania entrance. He used the Man in Black, the cover of Claude Eli's tune that was made famous on the soundtrack of Cool Hand Luke. Ain't No Grave Can Hold My Body Down at WrestleMania 27. During the Dead Man's acceptance of Bray Wyatt's WrestleMania 31 challenge during the March 9th edition of Monday Night Raw, a slide was placed on the Titantron that stated WrestleMania, the man comes around. According to the report, this is a reference to the Cash song, The Man Comes Around, which could be what is played when The Undertaker makes his return to WWE action on March 29th at WrestleMania 31. As previously reported, WWE wants to hold off having The Undertaker appear on television until WrestleMania, much like they did in 2004 leading up to WrestleMania 20. Undertaker has not been seen on WWE programming since his loss to WWE World Heavyweight Champion Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30. Michael Cole, Booker T, and JBL confirmed WWE's plan to keep fans waiting for The Undertaker's return with their commentary during Raw and SmackDown. During the March 9th edition of Raw, they promoted the fact that WWE and the universe hasn't seen Taker since his injury at the hands of Lesnar in New Orleans at WrestleMania 30, and no one knows what condition he will be in at WrestleMania 30. And speaking of Lesnar and The Undertaker, massive fucking story tomorrow as the main story for part 2 of Off the Script this weekend. Lesnar and The Undertaker possibly meeting face to face on Monday Night Raw following WrestleMania 31. I have the full exclusive details on that. You do not want to miss tomorrow's show, but it will be cool to see The Undertaker at WrestleMania. His entrance is one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest, and it's going to be great to see him at WrestleMania, to see what kind of condition he's in. I like this. I like the fact that the WWE is holding off on The Undertaker having appear on TV. Just adds to the entire Undertaker character and people really being interested to see what he's going to look like and how he's going to look in the ring following last year's WrestleMania 30 and the concussion that he got from Brock Lesnar. Two more pieces of news before I call episode number 56, part 1, a close, okay? Back when John Cena was getting his feet wet in WWE, he also began to launch a successful music career for himself as a rapper. The man, once known as the Doctor of Thugonomics, released his debut album in 2005 in partnership with WWE, entitled You Can't See Me. For some of his work back in the day, Cena collaborated with fellow Boston rapper Eocentric, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, who was a recent guest on the Asked talk show with Riv and Landon. I don't know who the fuck these people are. Within the interview, he revealed an interesting proposition that John Cena had pushed to turn heel about 5 years ago. According to the rapper, Cena wanted to turn his Doctor of Thugonomics character full-time, likely sometime between 2009 and 2010. This rapper claimed to have helped Cena write the heel turn angle, though it would end up being shot down by WWE management, although 2 years later, during the build to his first encounter with The Rock at WrestleMania 28, Cena portrayed his rap persona for the first time in more than 5 years. Just a fun fact I figured you guys would want to know. And finally, Samoa Joe news. It was reported this past week that Samoa Joe is expected to go to WWE soon after working some dates with Ring of Honor and some other indie promotions. In an update, word is that Joe informed Ring of Honor officials about an upcoming WWE tryout. Apparently, that tryout will take place in April after WrestleMania 31. WWE is very interested in Joe, mainly Triple H, but they want to get an up-close look at him before they offer him a contract. Ring of Honor officials do not expect Joe to remain there for long. They wanted to get Joe announced immediately and push him to the main event due to his uncertain status past the confirmed dates. Joe is making 60% of what Alberto Del Rio has been making, and Del Rio is scheduled to finish up on April 4th. The March dates Ring of Honor has Joe booked for are costing them less than the recent events with Alberto Del Rio. So Samoa Joe getting a WWE tryout sometime after WrestleMania 31. He was also on Chris Jericho's podcast, Talk is Jericho, and Jericho did confirm that there are negotiations with WWE. It's a great listen if you guys got the chance. Talk is Jericho, Samoa Joe. It released this past Friday, all right? But that is Off the Script, guys. Number 56. Part number 1. For part number 2, Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. Angle, storyline, planned for WrestleMania 31. You do not want to miss part 2. If you guys are not subscribed to this channel, man, I have no idea what the fuck you are waiting for. This is the number 1 source for WWE news and rumors right here on YouTube.com. If you guys are not following me on Twitter at JD206, keep up to date on when I tweet live during Raw, pay-per-views, and to keep up to date on everything that goes on with this channel, man. If you guys want more additional wrestling content, Joe Cronin Show, the guys over at Chairshot Reality, LeBar, Eisenberg, Ghoulish, all their social media links, YouTube and Twitter, linked down below. Go and check those two sites out and go show some support, man, if you guys want additional WWE and professional wrestling content right here on YouTube.com. And as always, guys, if you missed Off the Script last weekend, if you guys missed WWE My Universe Mode and Career Mode with Mr. 9 to 5, links are down below, man. Go check that shit out. It's getting pretty epic on WWE 2K15. This is JD. I'll be back tomorrow, Saturday morning, with Off the Script number 56, part 2. Remember, Undertaker, Lesnar, Angle, storyline planned for Monday Night Raw following WrestleMania. Until then, guys, this is JD, and I'll see you all for Off the Script number 56, part 2 on Saturday morning. I'll talk to you later.